We're just getting started with DeltaMath. So on this page, when you sign in, you're going to see all of your upcoming assignments. In this case, there's one upcoming assignment from a teacher, Mr. Korzik, due April 14th at 8:20 a.m. The first thing you need to do is click on either of these sections and start working on problems. We see that this first problem, we're required to complete 3 problems successfully, and then the second type, we only need to do 1. Now we're going to click into this first one and we'll see the problem. So the question says solve for A, and it's a linear equation. Now I'm just going to subtract 6 from both sides. I'm going to just type my answer in. If you try to type A equals -3, you'll get feedback that's saying don't write the equal sign, just write the answer. So on DeltaMath, you just want to write the answer for equations, so -3 is the answer. Now, when you get it right, or if you get it wrong, you'll be shown a solution, and you should check your work to see what you did wrong if you did not get it correct. If you get a check mark, it means you got it correct. Now, I want to point out that your score is 1 because we just got 1 right. So if we do our second problem, you're going to see we'll get this second one right. But I want you to see that this attempt, 1 out of 2, means that actually you'll get 2 attempts on this very same problem. So say at first you tried -14 and you get feedback, it will tell you that answer is not correct. You have 1 attempt remaining. Now, if we change our answer to +14, we're going to get full credit. Notice our score is 1. So after we submit 14, our score is going to be 2. We have the check mark. Now, what happens if we get one wrong? So let's say we submit 11, and then we submit another answer, and we're going to get this wrong. This problem has a penalty, and you can hover here and read what the penalty is. Now, if the teacher sets a penalty, it means if we get a question wrong, our score, which is now 2, is going to go down by 1. And our grade on the assignment, we are 33% complete. I'll explain that a little bit later. Now, our record is 2, and the reason our record is 2 is because that's the highest our score has been. But let's say we get this wrong again. What's going to happen is we're going to be shown a full solution, so you should definitely check your mistake. But I want you to notice that your score has dropped from 2 to 1. So your score has gone down by 1, but your record remains 2 because the highest your score has been was still 2 out of 3. And your grade on the assignment is still 33% complete because it's based on the highest your score went. So you don't need to worry about getting one wrong and having your assignment grade go down. What the penalty means is that when you get one wrong, it's just going to actually make you solve 2 additional questions right. Notice I just got one right, and my assignment grade did not go up. That is not a flaw. That is not a mistake. What happened is my score was 1, and now it's back to 2. So now I am where I was 2 problems ago before I had gotten that one wrong. But my record is still 2, so I need to keep going. So if you press New Problem now, and you add 7 to both sides, and we get 8, what you're going to see is that we finally have 3 out of 3. When we have 3 out of 3, it means you are complete with this section. Our assignment grade is 50%, which means we're halfway done. So if you try to press Next Problem again, you're going to get a little warning here. It says, congratulations, you've met the required number. So please press back. You can press OK. You can keep solving. So you could keep solving and keep getting 4 out of 3, 5 out of 3. But your grade will never go up above 50%. You need to press back and select a new section. So if there's 5 sections, you can do them in any order, but you must press back once you've reached that required number of problems and move on to a new question. Now, the reason our assignment grade, our completion percentage is 50% is because we've completed 50% of the sections. So each section, regardless of the number of problems, is most likely worth an equal amount. Depends on how the teacher sets it. So this one problem will complete the second section, and I should get a 100% on my assignment. So I did want to show you what happens if there's multiple solutions. So the solution to this is radical 11 and negative radical 11. So in the box, we can press the radical key here, and then write radical 11. But for a second solution, there's 2 ways we can do that. One way is to press this plus box, which makes 2 empty boxes, and then we can write negative radical 11 as our 2 answers. Or what you could have done is press the comma key on your keyboard, which automatically adds a new solution. You could also type SQRT to get a square root, but we need negative square root of 11. Now you could also have written that as one box with a plus or minus symbol. And all of these symbols are also in the keyboard. If you click keyboard, you have all these symbols. You might have to press shift in order to see the plus or minus or some cube root signs or absolute value. but you could probably just use these common buttons down here and your keyboard to enter the answer. Now, if your equation has no solutions, you would press the minus button and then submit the empty set. So let's just get this one right. To see that our grade on the assignment is now 100%, we press back and we see 100% as our grade there. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about late credit. So this assignment, we did not do it. It was due before now, but our teacher has decided to give us some late credit on the assignment. So if I do a problem correct, now this is the distributive property, 3 times 3x squared is 9x. Now you could press Shift 6 on your keyboard and then do the exponent, 9x squared, and then press to the right to get out of the exponent, minus 6x. If you wanted, you could have clicked the keyboard icon and then use squared, which is the squared key, or you can press A to the B, and that gets you to the exponent, and you can type any exponent that you want. But if you have a computer, it's a lot easier to press Shift 6 for the exponent. So let's get this question right. We see we got it right. Now there's 2 scores that you're going to see. You're going to see your completion and your grade, which are different because the assignment is late. So since we did 1 out of 5 problems, we did 20% of the problems. So our completion percentage on the assignment is 20%. But the teacher is only giving us half credit for late work. So you'll see 2 grades, and that's what happens when you have late work. Now anything in red means late credit is not available. So if I were to click into the problem and solve the question, rounding this to the nearest hundredth, what you're going to see is that I will get the check mark. I can keep solving it. You can always go back to any old question, but my grade may remain 0, or if I had done 40% on time, my grade would remain 40%, even though our completion percentage can come up to 100%. Now you can always press Show Example to see an example of the distributive property. Next example shows you another example. Next example. When you're ready to go back and solve your original problem, you just click Original Problem. So if you press back, you see an overview of all your assignments. That is your introduction to DeltaMath from the student perspective.